Hey, what's up, guys? BJ Dell back with a new Wednesday critique. Today's critique, we have 4 different designs sent in by 3 different viewers like you. If you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, make sure you hit that link in the description. Join. It's called Keep Creating a Learn, Draw, Share Art Community. People are sharing all kinds of different stuff that they're doing and would love for you guys to be a part of it and show off your work. So that being said, let's see what these guys sent in. Alright guys, so we've got 4 awesome designs for you today. These all came from YouTube viewers who are also part of the Keep Creating Facebook group. So if you haven't joined that yet, make sure you hop on over to Facebook and join. We would love to have you as part of the community. So this first one comes from Matthias. Matthias said, I believe he started drawing back in October 2018 as a way that he would be able to do merch designs for himself and not have to outsource. So as you can see, he's on the right track. Everything looks good with this otter design. Super, super cute. Kind of zoom in here and show you some of my favorite parts. The line work is really good. He's got some great tapers going on here. Love that. Line weight is really good throughout. I would probably on the tail maybe add a little bit more difference in the line weight and vary it up a little bit. It seems like it's pretty much the same size going around, so might make this a little bit thicker at the bottom and then trail it off like that just to kind of give that a little bit of variance. Colors are absolutely great. My favorite part with this is the expression, and this shows you just how a very little amount of work can go a long way. And this is basically, 2 simple lines, and it gives just that perfect smirk. You can kind of tell a story with him already. He's ornery, maybe up to no good. So I absolutely love that. That's my favorite part of this. And then as far as the shadows, did a super, super good job on the shadows. Got obviously the light source coming in this way because of the shadows here. He's got that wrapped around really nice down here and then down on the foot and around the bottom here. The only part that I would probably change a little bit is you're still going to have a little bit of either highlight or non-shadow in this part, and then the shadow from this arm is going to wrap around this way. So I'd probably take out some of that and wrap the shadow there. And then same thing up here. You've got the light source coming here. That shadow here actually would need to be a highlight. That's probably based on these, the most top region for that light source. So that's going to get the most highlights. So instead of a shadow, that should be a highlight. But yeah, other than that, absolutely fantastic. I love the design. It reads as super cute. Like I said, with that smirk, it definitely tells a story and just looks super, super great. So let's move on to the next one. And the next one actually is from Matthias as well. Posted both of these in the Facebook group at the same time. So this one, I love the color choice first off. A lot of times with these dinosaurs or T-Rexes, you have a lot of the dark greens or the lime greens, and I kind of like this more like teal oceany color. I think it really makes it stand out. My favorite part is I love the line work here across to kind of give that wrinkled or textured look. And this is done really well too because it's not all over. It's not a certain pattern that, stretches across the entire drawing. It's placed just sparingly here and there, and that looks really, really good. I like how that was used. As far as the shadows and highlights, once again, I think Matthias is definitely on the right track as far as the shadows go. It's got nice shadow work, understands where the light source is coming on this one. It's got it coming down around here, and I like the wrap around down here. That's really well done. Same thing here with the snout coming down. You've got the shadow there, and then on the tail, and then on this underbelly side there. Really, really good. The one thing that I would change on this one is always keep in mind, first impressions are always what anyone that sees a design or an illustration is going to go off of. And when Matthias first posted this one, until I read the description, I didn't really know it was supposed to be a T-Rex. It definitely has kind of a dinosaurish look to it, or it could also be a crocodile or an alligator, I thought maybe. And it's basically just that snout And so I would change that just so it reads a little bit more like a T-Rex. Let me go ahead and add a new layer here. I'm going to drop the opacity and kind of show you what I mean. All right. So I'll keep everything else the same as far as the shape of the head and where everything else is placed, and just change that one part here. So I'm just going to go around here and quickly trace this. So once I drop that original one down, it'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here. Like I said, just doing this really quick. This is not going to be perfect by any means. Just all on the sake of time. I want to keep these videos a little bit shorter. So add in the eyes and the eyebrows. And I think that's pretty well close enough. So on most of the pictures you'll see of T-Rexes, they kind of have the more squared off snouts, and then the nostrils kind of sit on top of the snouts, to where sometimes you can put them down here too, but on the original one they were all the way down at the bottom, and they pretty much are always geared more towards that top part, or angled more there. So and then maybe put a couple of little teeth in there to make it cute, and then I'll throw back in the lines that you had here. Alright, so let's turn this off. You can see it reads a little bit more like a dinosaur now, or like a T-Rex. You kind of know right off the bat. I would probably do a couple more lines up here so the snout runs into the eyes there. And then even still more, you could, instead of doing it straight on, you could actually angle the snout and angle the head so that you can tell even more so that's the T-Rex look you're going for. And I think with that, the T-Rex especially, people just kind of expect it to look a certain way. So when you take too many, stylistic choices with it, people don't really expect the T-Rex to have that look. So that's why they're a little thrown off by what it's supposed to be. So that's why with T-Rexes, I would definitely try to keep them a little bit closer to the normal way of doing them, and not take too many stylistic choices with the simple parts like that. So as you can see, that one, I guess, looks a little bit more like a T-Rex. So other than that, I'm fantastic design. I'm not ripping on it at all, but that's just the one thing that stood out to me, looking at it at the very first glance. I was not sure that it was, supposed to be a T-Rex. So that's my critique of that, and we're going to talk about kind of making stylistic choices with this next one. This cow design comes from Bill, and I absolutely love this. The reason why I include this one and that last one was Matthias, like I said, definitely made some stylistic choices with that snout that I didn't think really worked, just because of what people are used to seeing. Now with this cow, Bill took some stylistic choices with this that I think really work. My first thought when I saw this was it really reminds me of like lowbrow cartoons, or something that you would see like on SpongeBob or on Ren and Stimpy, that just kind of has that quirky cartoon look to it, that it doesn't really go by exact drawing principles and nature and what a cow actually looks like. And parts like this, to where I think usually a cow, the snout part would actually come up like this, and the nostrils are down in this part. The fact that he chose to do the nostrils above that, I think that is just really funny and awesome. Even the ears, how one's going one way and one's going the other, I absolutely love that too. The one thing I would change here is based on the angle that the face is, it's pretty much straight on. So you've got one horn here that's on the front plane, and you've got one behind where the head is. So I would make a choice there and either make, both of the horns on this front part, which, let me get to black here. So I would get, both of the horns here on this front part, or you could also, just move this one to the back like that. That's the only thing I would really change there. Of course, if you wanted this one to the front and this one to the back, you would need to change the angle that the face lies. So with that, basically this eye would need to be bigger because it's going to be almost like a 3/4 view. So let me drop the opacity of this one down. All right, there we go. Do a new layer here. So we've got this here, this one here. So yeah, this eye would need to be bigger, and then this one would need to be smaller to give it that angled look. And same thing with the rest of the face. This part's going to come out further. And then with the nostrils, this one's going to be bigger, and this one's going to be smaller. And then this ear would have to be bigger, and then this ear would have to be smaller to give it that angled look. So that's the only the thing I would change there is just how those horns are positioned. But yeah, color-wise, everything pops really good. Love the brown against the pink. Everything just kind of pops against each other, and the color choices are good. As far as the shadowing, really good job shadowing. You got the shadow coming down here, so the light source once again is coming in this way. You've got the shadows on the back here and on the underside here. Shadow here might wrap this around and bring it down underneath the front of the mouth a little bit more. And then the highlights here are a really good job. And then the only other thing I would change, I don't know if this was a brush that you used or if it was like clip art that you used for the hay coming out of the mouth. But as you can see, it's a lot more pixelated than the rest. So I'd probably work on that because it just really looks like it's thrown in there. And then secondly, I'm assuming it would probably be chomped between the teeth, and you've got the top row of teeth here, the bottom row here, and this would be the part where they come together. So I would erase this top part here to where it actually looks like it's being clenched in between the teeth. That kind of looks a little bit more realistic there, but like I said, the graininess of that is kind of off-putting compared to the clean look of the rest of it. And I see you did use probably one of the charcoal or marker brushes for outlining, so it's got kind of a rough edge to it already, which I really like and really think works well for this. But this is just a little bit more rough than the rest of them. So, but fantastic job, Bill. I love it. Super awesome. And this last one, I'm going to kick back to gallery view. This one comes from Jason. I know Jason, he has my contact info, so he actually sent me a Procreate file for this one. So I'll be able to go into the layers on this one. The other ones were just the JPEG versions that were taken off the Facebook page. So this one is a funky, crazy rabbit design by Jason. As you can see, he's got the layering correct on here. He didn't add any highlight layers. He's just got the lines layer, the shadows layer, and then the sketch layer, or the color flats, and then the sketch layer. So I'd maybe add in a highlights layer. He drew in the arrow here already, so I know which way that the shadows or the light source is coming in, where the shadows should be. So let's talk about the shadows here. With the light coming in this way, I would go ahead and take out this shadow, and here I would go ahead and pretty much fill this in for the inside of the ear. And this is where I talked about too, using additional shadow layers. I would even almost add a new shadow layer in and do a secondary shadow across that top part where the ear comes in, just to give it a little bit more oomph, a little bit more definition there. So we'll pull that down. There we go. So the inside of the ear is going to be shadowed anyways because it's inset into this outer part, but then also that top part that comes around, that's going to give off its own shadow. Then same thing over here. I would probably just add in that extra shadow, which with that one being there, I can just shadow in the whole thing. So there's that. It's got the shadows around the eyes. I'm always a big fan of that. I do like that. This shadow here for the nose, I would probably wrap this down further here and then continue this shadow around the rest of the face down here and then down around the body. With this foot being positioned furthest away from the light source, I would fill in this whole foot. And it's going to be the furthest away, so it's going to be the darkest, and then just hit along the sides there. And then definitely down here, the other part that's going to be really far away from the light source is his butt that he's sitting on. So I would have this all shadowed down here. There's going to be quite a bit of shadow, and it kind of adds some weight to the rabbit too. So does some heavy lifting there as far as the shadows go. And then I might pull this shadow down some more too, just to give it even more distinction. Fill in this whole thing here. Like that. Pull this away. Alright, and I think this one totally is shadowed in here. It looks like it. So I'm using the eraser now, so I would add some highlights here because you are going to have some of that light coming in and hitting that top part. So, and then for the last thing, like I said, I would throw in a highlight layer, put that there, and just hit those parts that are going to be closest to the light source. You're going to have these parts here kind of hitting around this top of this arm, maybe the top of those here, and then around the top of that mouth part right there, the cheeks. And then, of course, turn it down on the opacity. All right. And there you go. Thanks, Jason, for sending that in. A very good example, too. So that is it for today's critique video. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. More importantly, I want to thank Jason and Matthias and Bill for sending in today's designs that were featured in the video. You guys rock. If you guys want to see your designs possibly featured in one of these videos, make sure you hop on over to that Facebook community. Like I said, link is in the description. Keep creating a learn, draw, share art community on Facebook. Got a bunch of people in the group sharing their stuff. It is awesome to see what you guys are doing, and I really appreciate it. If you like today's video, make sure you leave a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed, and hop in that comment section. Let the guys know what you thought of today's designs. I'm sure that they would enjoy the feedback and the encouragement. Really, really cool stuff to see. So, as for me, I can be found online at bjdell.com and on Instagram and Twitter at bjdell. So, until next time, keep creating.